everybody. Welcome to another episode of Straight Talk No BS. It's Chris.
And Landria.
And today we're going to talk about something that's been weighing heavy on my mind. We're going to talk about at what age do you stop being a parent? And
okay. Mm-hmm.
Right. And I know all the answers. I don't have the answers, right? Because I don't think any parents really do have the answers. I think we're all literally just trying to figure it out day by day. There is no handbook. There isn't a Bible to being a parent. It just isn't, right? We just have to do what we're taught, what we're raised to do, and try to do better, with our kids for the next generation. And me personally, I don't know about you, Lynn, but I feel like it doesn't stop. I feel like parents have to own that position for a lifetime.
I wouldn't say a lifetime. I know that I thought, that's from my own experience. When my son went 18, I was like, oh, thank God. He's graduated from high school. I did my job, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I figured, okay, not that parenting was over, but I can relax. And then when he went to college is when I realized, okay, I'm still going to be a parent, not as hands-on, but you still got to be available. And then you have to trust your child that they make the best choices for themselves and be responsible, right? In a college environment. So I went through, I want to say about a year and a half of the whole empty nest syndrome. So that for me, I knew he was going off to college. I was grateful that he graduated from high school. I kind of felt like, okay, I did my job. He's 18, he graduated from high school, but then I did not expect, I truly did not expect to experience the whole empty nest syndrome. I've heard people say it on TV and whatnot. I never knew exactly what it was until I experienced it. It was awful. I don't know. I kind of felt lost for a while, for a very long time. I felt lost for like maybe 8 months. Yeah.
Lost because he wasn't home anymore?
I just felt like, what do I do? Because I've been so conditioned, robotic, I'm up, breakfast, drop one off, this is going on, that's going on, this one has activities, that one has activities. My entire schedule was wrapped around their schedule. So with them both being student athletes and having numerous activities and having to be certain places, certain times, or we're going to be out of state, driving out of state, wherever the case may be, my entire year would be booked in advance. So for most people, for me, October, November, I'm already starting the calendar for the following year. I already know, I already know what season's what, who's doing what, who's playing volleyball, who's doing football, who's doing track, who's doing soccer, who's doing this. So my calendar's already color coordinated. And then I'm putting in, okay, squeezing a vacation here, squeezing a race trip here, squeezing this. Okay, here's birth dates. Here's blackout dates for my job, birthdays for them. Day schools are closed, so I have been conditioned like that for years with both of them.
Mm.
So when he hit 18, I was like, oh God, I don't have to worry about doing that no more. I have my daughter, but that's one. Two is a balancing act. But then I realized, like I said, when he went off to college, I'm like, okay, now we're having different conversations. Conversations about, you have to go to class on time. Are you studying? Do you understand? Did you pass your exam? So now we're having different conversations where I'm like, damn, I'm still going to be a parent, Like,
Exactly.
I don't know, for some reason, I don't know. Not that I thought when he goes off to college, I don't have to worry about him. I mean, I knew I had to worry about him, but I didn't want to have to also be like, how's your grades? Did you get your grades? Did you get your exams? What's your midterm? I was still asking the same questions if it's in high school.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, damn, it's not even over,
Right. Which is to my point. Like there's going to be stages in life where you don't have to do certain things anymore. But as they go through different stages, they have to learn more. They have to be guided differently. And that's what I mean by it doesn't end. Like there is no point where you can just say, listen, I'm not your parent anymore. I'm your friend now. Now we're homies. Like I don't feel like that's at that stage. Let me give you reasons why. I'm coming to a crossroad right now with my own son. Like he's just turned 13 and he's a teenager. So now I noticed like his attitude changed, his style changed, his needs, his wants changed, just as much as his height and his shoe size and his voice. Everything
Mhm.
is changing about him. And I had to be able to move and change with that. I can't be stuck in my mind and be like, well, just last year you were my little baby. You were humble, you were sweet. Now a year later you got a whole attitude and it's puberty. He's changing. So I have to also change and guide him through that part of it because he doesn't know. He has no
Right.
clue. And as much as he fights me on it and we fight and we argue, I have to know that as a parent, I can't give up on that. And
Right.
so now I'm hearing other people come and tell me this is the biggest thing too. Like when you're a parent, other parents gonna start talking to you about their kids and get put in
Mhm.
and projecting their issues and their problems on you. Like that's one of the most annoying parts of being a parent is that part. And
Mhm.
I'm overhearing conversations where an adult came to me and they told me like, oh, you at this age, you lost your son. He's lost. He's not gonna listen to you anymore. You're annoying to him. I said, okay. In my mind, I'm like, yeah, I am annoying to him. Yeah, because I'm his mother. I'm his parent. I'm the one that has to give him rules and instructions that he has to follow. Right? He has to do chores. He has responsibilities, and I'm the one that's enforcing those things. So yeah, I'm gonna be annoying to him. So, but I'm not gonna stop doing those things. He's annoyed. I'm not going to say I lost my kid because he's giving me attitude. No, I have to move and change towards that.
Mhm.
And then there was another instance where I'm at one of his football games and the other mothers of his teammates are just expressing how their son does whatever they want to do in their house. And they leave the house whenever they want. Don't tell their parents where they're going, who they're going to be with. And I'm just like, in my mind, I'm like, I see your sons outside in the street. Like, I see these kids
Mhm.
and they're little terrorists. They're walking around with bats and weapons and drugs and just roaming the street being terrors at McDonald's or whatever because there's no guidance. There's no one at home telling them, yo, what are you doing? You can't go
Mhm.
outside and just do anything you want to do. You have to have with a reason, with conviction. Like you can't just do that. No, you're young black men. You're seen as this way. So you have to unfortunately have to have these conversations. Like when you go outside, you can't sag your pants. You can't throw up gang signs walking outside. You can't do those things because you're going to be portrayed as something totally different than who you really are.
Yeah, gangbanger. Mhm.
Then here you are being judged. Then here, you know what I'm saying? So like all these things you have to have on your mind. You have to teach and coach and instill with your kid no matter what.
No, I agree. No, I agree. I think as well that parenting doesn't stop, but our children as well, they go through phases. Like, I mean, even for my children, we're going through a challenging time now where they're so used to me being available that now that they're older, I don't have to be as present as I used to be.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm building my own social life, doing my own thing. We're not around each other as much as we used to be. But when they try reaching me, if they're not able to reach me that first phone call, that second phone call, and sometimes I'm gonna be honest, sometimes I know they ain't really calling me for nothing. So I just don't answer. I don't answer. And they'll have a complete meltdown. Where are you? Come you answer the phone? I'm trying to reach you and blah, blah, blah. So I do know that I wouldn't say it's a dependence they have on me, but they're just so accustomed to me being present. They're so accustomed to mom always showing up and mom being there that for them is an adjustment for them as well too. Like
Mm-hmm.
I am intentionally not making myself available to force them to have to figure things out on their own. I'm intentionally doing that.
Right. Yep.
And
See, I
even
had to
with
get to that
intentionally,
point with my
right,
son.
even with, go
Mhm.
ahead.
No, because even today, like I went to his school and I said, ask the main office for a report card from last year. He's like, all right, cool. Instead of telling them exactly what I said, he walks in there and says, oh, my mom is asking for you to call her. And it's like, wait, why do I need them to call me? I just told you what to say.
That's because he forgot. By the time he got to the office, he completely forgot what you said. That's why. That's why.
Girl, I'm
Exactly. That's
like,
why.
what?
No, but it's the truth. This generation of children now, technology enables them to be lazy. Technology enables them to have everything easy for them. Like
Mhm.
they don't. If we know, even adults, if we lose our cell phones, we have a panic attack. If these kids lose their cell phones, they have a complete meltdown.
Oh yeah.
Nobody remembers phone numbers anymore. Nobody knows how to actually make a decision to get from point A to point B by bus or train. You know what
Mm-hmm.
they do? Uber,
Mm-hmm.
Uber, Lyft, or even my kids. I can
Mm-hmm.
say to my daughter, go catch the bus and go to school. Huh? Yeah, huh? Yeah, I want to sleep in this morning. I don't feel like getting up to take you to school. Just goes, look, just go stand outside the house. The bus can pick you up in like 10 minutes. Oh, why? What do you mean by why? I didn't feel like getting up. Mommy, I don't catch the bus. Yeah. Mommy, I don't catch the bus. That'll be
Mhm.
her response.
That
It's
was
just
my son today too, girl. I told him like, listen, you might have to catch the bus to school. He was like, what? I'm like,
yeah,
it's across the street from the house. You get on it. It takes you to school. Walk
yeah,
across the street. You're at school. It's one stop. What? Why you
yeah,
can't drive me to school? Oh,
yeah, yeah.
excuse me.
Yeah, but it's the new generation we have. Like this new generation now, they don't know what it's like to do like hard work. They don't even know what it's like to get up early and go work, maintain a job. They don't do it. Nowadays, this new generation now, and I hate to say it, is lazy.
Yeah,
This new generation now, you can give them a task to do something, they have no idea how to do it.
none,
They don't.
girl,
Because
none.
the first thing they rely on is their phone. If my kids misplace their phones, they're having a breakdown. They will leave this house till they find their phone. Why is their phone that important to them? They wouldn't be able to.
Well, then also, it's not even just the kids that rely on the phone. It's nowadays, it's
Adult.
everybody. It's the teachers. Now, my son's teachers is telling me that he can literally have his phone in class to use as a calculator.
Yeah.
That's his calculator, his cell phone. And I'm like, what? He's like,
Their
yeah,
cell
that's the
phone
app,
is their calculator, their dictionary, their translator, everything's right there.
everything,
Yeah.
everything.
They
So
don't have to really learn anymore.
no, and that's listen, they call it Generation Z. That's why I'm
Mhm.
a little nervous, girl. But that's why we have to continue to guide them. Like they need us to guide them, to coach them. Like I don't see myself as only a parent. Like I'm a life coach. You see what I'm saying? Like I have to coach my kid for life, through life, in life. Who else is gonna do it besides us? Like who?
I
Like you want
agree.
it to be influenced by the streets, by the public?
Yeah. Yeah. And the streets would swallow your kid up in a heartbeat. Swallow your kid up, chew him up, and spit him out
It's a shame
in a
nowadays
heartbeat.
because it's not like these kids at this age is, the cops have seen them. Oh, come on, kids, go home, go to your mom's house. Like, y'all shouldn't be out here playing. They're not doing that. Like how when we were kids, that's what they were doing to us. They're not
Mhm.
doing that nowadays. Like I've seen kids cut school and get arrested, thrown in
Yeah.
the back
What
of a cop car
truancy?
with handcuffs.
Yeah, truancy, I think it is.
It's so I taught my son from when he was, transitioning from elementary school to middle school. I said, look, this is another step that you have to learn about. This is a whole new territory. You're no longer elementary now, you're middle school. You're going to have to be more mature. You have to mature up because you're going to be seen differently. You're not going to be viewed as a little kid anymore. You're going to be viewed as an adolescent, right? And what does that mean? That means you have to have more common sense. You have to think before you act, think before you speak. And that's what's going to be expected of you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It can't be like, oh, slap on the wrist because you're a little kid. Not anymore. Not in middle school. There's no slap on the wrist anymore in middle school. I had to have that talk with him to mentally prepare him to go to a whole new level. Is other parents doing it? Is that what the norm is? Or am I being, as he calls it, too overprotective?
No, that's not the norm. I just think that as parents, as our children get older, we also have to understand they're getting older and have different types of conversations. When they're in elementary school and middle school, we tend to cover them a lot, protect them a lot, shout to them a lot. We do that. But at some point, when they go off to high school, we need to then start falling back a little bit. I'm not saying completely remove yourself out of the situation, but you have to fall back a little something, still guide them.
Yeah.
But at this point, you have to now start teaching them to take responsibility, take accountability, all of that, and still be present because they still need guidance. But I think where some parents fall short is that and I can even say even for myself, we automatically assume, I know I'm good for this one, automatically assuming my kids should just know certain things because I know it. And I automatically assume, listen, go do this, this, this. And I would just assume they know exactly what to do or how to do it or how to handle certain things. So I have to remind myself that sometimes in certain situations, they're still children. They don't have the experience that I would have as an adult to make certain decisions or to even comprehend certain situations. So I think as your child ages, I think the conversations change. Like my 21-year-old now, when I talk to Saquon and have conversations, they're a lot different than me having a conversation when he was a teenager or when he was in high school. My conversations with him now is listen, you're 21, you're allowed to drink alcohol and whatnot. Remember, drinking alcohol changes your whole state of mind. Don't be drinking and driving. Don't be hitting on girls when you're intoxicated. No is no. Remember that you're, African American young man. Remember, always be aware of your surroundings. Always remember where you are. 2 drink minimum. Use protection. Use condoms. So, and then I talk to him in that part as far as keeping himself safe. But then I'm also talking to him about, hey, saving money. Credit is everything. Cash don't mean nothing. Keep on building that credit. You want to have the highest possible credit you can possibly have. That opens up many doors for you. Even when it comes to where exactly he wants to, career-wise. I say to him again, I support my children in any decision they make and what they want to do as they grow up as adults. You want to be an entrepreneur, whatever you want to do, I support you. But I'll only support you if I see that you're making steps to achieve what you're trying to, your goals that you have met. So even with that, I talk to him constantly. The conversation we have now is like, listen, you can have 5 or 6 jobs. I don't care. Keep on having as many jobs until you find one that you really love. I don't want you to just have a job to make money. I want you to have a job that you love, something you love getting up to, going to work, because then you will want to go to work. You see what I'm saying? Whereas when I was his age, it was just a matter of get a good job, get a government job, get a job with benefits. No one really talks to you about get a job that you want to do, that you're happy with. I don't care what it is. You can be a dog walker. I don't care. Be the best that you want to be. Turn it into a lucrative business. I couldn't care less. With my daughter at 17, we have conversations more or less like, you're going off to college soon. Pick a major that you want to, that you love or you're interested in. And also telling her it's okay to change majors if she wants to change it. You want to play college volleyball? Okay, I support you. I support you, whatever you want to do. I will be there wearing your college colors in the stands, where my normal city is, right at the 50-yard line or right at the middle, taking my pictures and videos. I will be there. But I also tell her as well that if the day comes you lose interest, you don't do it no more, that's okay too, where there's no pressure. If you want to I even tell my kids, if you want to take a year off, and I give this to them because I know they've been good. Like I know my kids right through to high school haven't given me any problems, little hiccups here and there, but no major problems. So any of my kids came to me and said, I need just a year just to just kind of like, I would say do nothing, but just figure things out. I'll give it to them. I'd rather give it to them at this age than when they're 30 with kids or 40 with kids. See what I'm saying? Or they got responsibilities or debts. So as long as they're constantly doing something, we have different conversations. Naya told me just the other day, what she wants to start dating. Now I could be like, no, what do you mean? But she's 17. So these conversations we have now is not a matter of, okay, I don't want you dating. It's a matter of, okay, be careful. Do you have a type? When you say you want to date, what exactly do you mean? What is your definition of dating versus my definition of dating? Be careful. There's a lot of scum buckets out there. There's a lot of guys out there that are con artists, that are scammers, that are, not good for you. Be careful. He has some really great guys out there too, So that's another level of conversation I had with her.
But do you
Protect
see
yourself.
the key thing that stood out to me is what when you just said is the fact that she came to you and said, "Hey, mom, I think I'm ready to have a boyfriend."
Yeah,
Like
she came to
just
me.
that to me speaks so much volumes because it's like Lennon and her daughters been having conversations. They have an open communication. They have an open door policy in their own home where it's free to have these conversations, to have that child want to open up more. Because I can tell you, most oftentimes these girls are not going home to their parents telling them, "Hey, mom, dad, I think I'm ready to have a boyfriend." I think they're out there just doing it.
And you know what? And they are. I mean, listen, she went through a phase, she went through a point of a lot of guys are coming out of woodworks, hitting her up on social media and want to take her out and stuff like that, pick her up and everything. And I had to jump into that and say, nope, we're not doing all that. We're not doing that because I knew mentally she wasn't ready. You know, a lot of these kids think they're ready for certain situations and they're not. I know she's not ready for that. My kids are not street kids. You know, all kids think they're street kids, but they ain't really street kids. You know, they're not. So with her, even though we went through a period of, oh my God, how come I can't go on a date? Or oh my God, everyone else has boyfriends. And I don't care. I don't care. You can have as many boyfriends, they can have as many boyfriends as they want. I just want you to take your time. Because what happens is that when you don't talk to your child, especially when you have really attractive children, or you would say how, everyone's gravitating towards them. When you have a daughter, especially, even a son, you don't want your daughter to be taken advantage of. See what I'm saying? You don't want your daughter out there making careless mistakes, but she don't have to because she doesn't have the wisdom or the experience, or even the knowledge, because you haven't talked to her. So sometimes as a parent, you got to slow them down. You got to slow them down. They either listen to you or they don't. When they get older, it's like, okay, I would never stop talking to them. I never stop talking to him, but I also know that it's going to be times where they're not going to listen to me. And it's times that they haven't listened to me. It's times they haven't listened to me. And I could tell, and they'll go do what they think is right. But it always ends up that what I said was right. And I don't remind them and say, I told you so, because they have to learn those life lessons. You have to let them, even when I know my kids are making mistakes, and even when I know that they're about to make a mistake or the decision they're going to make is not in their best interest, I fall back. I fall back and let them make that mistake. I let them fall right in the face. And when they fall in the face and they're upset, I do what I'm supposed to do, pick them back up, build them back up. They learned their lesson. They have to learn those lessons. They have to make mistakes. They have to have failures. That's the only way they're going to grow up and mature. They have to have them. As a parent, it's tough. For me, it's tough to watch my kids make bad choices. It's tough for me to watch them make mistakes. And as a parent, I automatically want to, shelter them and cover them and fix their problems for them or solve things or guide them. But I've also had to teach myself to fall back. Let them make their decisions. Let them make their choices. Let them, follow their friends if they want to. Let them listen to everybody else. And you just fall back and watch from a distance. Obviously, I'm not going to let them burn and crash or something like that. But I fall back. I will fall back and let my kids fall flat on their face on purpose, because they have to. And then once they experience that, of damn, I messed up, or damn, I didn't listen, or oh man, they have to. That's part of their journey, their life's journey. And once they make their mistake, then I'll come over to them and say, hey, you all right? All right, now, okay, you made a mistake. Okay, cool. All right, now let's go. Here we go. What's the solution? Well, what's the next move? Because you can't stay down here feeling no sorry for yourself forever. Okay, now come on, here we go. This is what we're going to do. That's how I operate in my household. And trust me, it's difficult as a parent. It's difficult to fall back. So I don't look at it whereas you ever stop parenting. I just think that as your kids get older, you have to fall back and let them make mistakes, let them fall on their face, let them learn from their mistakes. That's the only way. You cannot hold their hand. You cannot baby them. You cannot do any of that. You just have to be a parent. And the older they get, you just have to observe, and you would know when you have to step in. But you have to allow your children to make a mistake. They have to make mistakes in life. They have to make mistakes. They have to fall on their face. They have to.
Yeah.
And then your job as a parent is you have to come in afterwards and you pick your kid up, and then you pick them up, build them back up. You say, okay, now shake it off. Here we go again. That's part of life.
Yeah.
That's part of
Right,
life.
right. And kids go through stuff every day that test that. That test them, that they go through things that they don't know every single day.
Friendships,
Have to
relationships, all that.
exactly even dealing with teachers and staff at school. Like you'd be surprised,
Yeah.
how much situation that you be there for your kid or guide them through something or protect them through something. So yeah, I agree. I agree
Right.
with you
You
on
do.
that.
Like I tell my kids all the time, like my daughter and my son always say, oh my God, mom, you're dragging it. That's his new word for kids. You're dragging it. You're dragging it. And I say to my kids all the time, when you hear me talk a certain way or use certain words, then you automatically should know me by now. Like, oh, Houston, we have a problem. Something's going on that's triggering my mom that she doesn't like. When you see me, then at that point, when you see me go into rare form, or hold on, let me just address this teacher real quick, or let me address this adult real quick. That means for you to step behind me, let me stand in front, and let me just handle this business real quick. Because at that moment there, I know that the situation is bigger than you. See what I'm saying? You don't have the wisdom or the experience to handle what I'm seeing. And sometimes children are not capable of identifying what exactly is going on in front of them. They don't know. Whereas adults, we know when things are going on, whether it be race, something to do with color, whatever the case may be. Situations like that, my kids already know, step back, let me handle it automatically. But when it comes to them making decisions based on, oh, my friend told me this or my friend told me that, I let them go ahead. Go ahead. Listen to your friend. Go ahead. We've all been there. No, go ahead. We've all been there. I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there. I had friends that my parents would deem was undesirable back in the day, You couldn't tell me nothing about them. Nothing about them. Those are my friends, you know. As time went on, you learn a few lessons behind that, even as adults. Even though as an adult, I've had friends in my adulthood that I have looked at as friends and looked at as family and whatnot. And turns out that my version of what I consider family or a friend or good friends is not their version of it. Lesson learned, right?
Yeah.
But it's not going to be a lesson learned that's going to stop me from doing what I have to do. But it's a lesson learned where, you know what? I'm glad I found out now. I can love you from a distance, no hard feelings, but I'm going to remove myself from your life. That's it. That's just how it is. But it's a learning lesson. You can never stop parenting. Even when I was married, going through my divorce, my father still had to parent me and pick me up when I hit rock bottom. So you never stop parenting. You just have a different style of parenting for different situations and different ages of your children. When your children become young adults, you parent in different ways, a different style of parenting. When they become parents themselves, you kind of parent another way. When they are married, you kind of fall back and let them deal with the marriage and whatnot, because you didn't get involved in people's marriages and relationships. So you kind of fall back and observe. But again, you're still there in the background. You're like that shadow that's just there if you need me.
Yeah.
Never stop parenting. You never stop parenting.
That's what I'm saying. Because that's
Hmm.
what I'm
There's
saying.
no expiration date to parenting. This thing when people say, "Oh, they're grown. You gotta let them be a man, let them be a woman." Okay, to what extent? Until they're locked up,
Yep.
they're behind bars, they commit a crime, a felony, or your child's pregnant on their fourth or fifth kid. At what point? At what point do you say, let me see what's going on with my child? Let's see what's going on with my son. At what point do you do that? You know what I'm saying? You don't just walk away and say, "Oh, you're 18, go figure out your own life." Or you're acting green, get out of my house. I don't agree with that. I don't. I really don't agree with that. But everyone has different parenting styles. Everyone parents in different ways and want it as well too.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't feel like letting them do whatever they want to do is a good parenting style. Like they say, like studies show that a child isn't fully mentally mature until the age of 25.
I believe that. That's true. Yeah.
So, and then for me personally, like I'm still learning, I'm still growing, I'm a parent, I'm an adult. So if I'm seeking guidance from reading books or from the news or whatever I get my guidance from, then my common sense is like, damn, my kid's gonna need this guidance. Like he's gonna need someone to be in his ear, telling him about what you taught Saquon about finances, credit, how important those things are, how to actually go out there and buy a car. You know, like what signs do you look for when these dealerships are lying to you or trying to swindle you? Like who else is going to teach your kid that besides the parent who's lived it, who's gone through it, who's you know what I'm saying, who's experienced it already? Like give your child that guidance. Don't just say like, oh well, they'll listen to me anyway, so it's a wrap. No, figure out ways to make them listen. Figure out ways to have them want to listen. Like figure those ways out.
And when they get older, do not be an enabler.
Oh yeah, don't be their best friend.
No.
Oh no.
I am not my children's company. They're none of my company. I know they do tell me 90% of what's going on in their lives. I'm sure they kind of hold back about 10 or 15% of it. I'm sure they do, which is fine. But I always try to make sure I drill in their head, no matter how bad a situation is, you have to tell me. Don't lie to me. Don't withhold it from me, no matter what it is. There's always a solution to everything. There's always a solution. Don't panic. Don't hide it because things become bigger than what it needs to be. But you have to have that line of communication. Listen, it's difficult. Some of the stuff my kids tell me, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. And then there's times they come to me and they look at me as a bank. I tell them no in a heartbeat. Listen, I am in now that my son is 21 and my daughter is 17, I enjoy saying no. I look forward to when they come to me and ask me for something. I'm like, no, I ain't got it. No, I can't do that. No, I can't lend you no money. No, I'm not giving you no money. Oh, you want that? Well, you got to pay for that yourself. I enjoy saying that. I enjoy it because if you don't start saying no to irrelevant stuff or materialistic things that they may want, you know, for me, if it doesn't have a purpose or it's not an experience you're learning from it, you don't need it. If you want it that big, go out there, work for it, save your money up and go get it. I say no in a heartbeat. I'm not wasting my money on anything like that. I think that is frivolous. I'm not doing that. And they know that. I enjoy saying no. You know, once they hit 18,
Right.
that's when I started really embracing that hell no.
No.
What? That no is sharp. No. Hey mom, can you sell me $100? No.
No.
What you mean, mom? No, I can't do it. I look, ask one of your friends. I can't do it. Go ask your father. I ain't got the money. Come on, mom.
The opposite. I started just saying, yeah. I say no so much. I feel like it's just like there's no sting to it. So now I just start saying, yeah. So my son asked me the other day, he's like, Mom, can I have $1,000? I want to get these shoes and outfit to go with it. I said, my mom, I'm like, is this kid crazy? $1,000? Like, hell no. But I said, you know what? I'm not even gonna fight. I'm just gonna be like, okay, sure, no problem.
No.
Did he get it? Did he believe me? Because he knows damn well I'm not giving him $1,000 to get no shoes or no outfit.
Nope. I say no. I feel, you know, for me, it's like, you know, for them, the older they get, I just fall back. So even before I used to cook 4 or 5 times a week, 2 days out and cook. Oh, please. Now I look at them, or you're adults. If you want to eat, okay, you might get me for like maybe 2 nights. 2 nights if you're lucky. Otherwise than that, you are quite capable of going to the fridge, taking out some meat, let it defrost, season it up. You know what you got to do. You know, what I'm not about to do is enable them to have these 5 cotton meals every night and cooking and cleaning and they're sleeping. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
Mm-hmm. That's how I feel about it.
No.
Yeah. But that's me though. I'm up in the mornings making breakfast, make sure his lunch, his bag is packed, get your lunch, get your water, got your Gatorade for football. Like I'm still in that mode. And I don't mind it.
But also he's still younger. Like Samaya. Samaya have a lunch break. She may say, Ma, can I have some money for lunch? I'm like, so what? We're going to the supermarket, you can buy some meat, sandwich meat, bread, and everything, and make your lunch and take it with you. Oh my God, Ma. I said, no, seriously. I said, I'm not going to be giving you $10, $15 a day to go buy lunch. We can go to the supermarket, buy what you need for lunch, get up in the morning, pack your lunch, take it to school with you.
Right. Or don't call me and say you hungry.
Look, and don't call me, because she's done that before. Call me at school, Ma. I got an hour lunch break and the teacher didn't show up for this class. I'm free for 2 hours. I want to go to Panera Bread and get some lunch. Okay. So look, can you order for me, please? And I just go pick it up. In other words, me ordering and pay for it on my card and she goes and picks it up a $24 lunch. Are you kidding me? No, I'm not
Yeah.
doing that. I'm
Listen,
not doing
my
it.
son asked me the same thing, girl. He called me and asked me one day at school, can I Uber Eats him something from to school?
No, I'm not doing that.
I said, excuse me? I said, I'm not doing that. You should have packed your lunch, sir. I'm not a bank. I'm not gonna be sitting here sending you money for lunch every single day because school lunch is disgusting. Okay. Well, like you said, here's a sandwich meat, here's some bread, here's some mayo with some seasoning for your sandwich, here's some granola bars, here's some fruit, here's some juice, here's some water. Like, take all that stuff to school with you. When you want to eat it, take out your bag and eat it.
No, I agree with you. No, so I just feel that, on the topic, you don't ever stop being a parent. You just fall as your children get older, you just kind of fall back and you allow them to make their own way.
And then
Why they
guide them
can
through
fall on
it.
their face and guide them through it. Like make their own way, let them fall on their face. It's mandatory they gotta fall on their face.
Yep, yep.
So this is how I look at it. I look at it whereas as they get older, you just kind of scale back a bit from being a parent. Let them date who they want to date. You can guide them and tell them what they're actually feel they should go in. If they listen, they listen. They don't. They don't. They don't. But you let them know the pros and the cons, what they look for, the red flags and whatnot. When it comes to friendships they have, let them give them the same advice and whatnot. But again, you have to ultimately let them make their own decisions. And if they fall on their face, you just be the parent to pick them up, rebuild their confidence, build them back up. Say, okay, now you made a mistake, you had a little roadblock, you might have, had a little hiccup here. You don't worry about it. You learn from the mistake, you move on. Because all of those mistakes they make is part of their journey. And it's part of them becoming the young adults they need to be. So when they do have their own responsibilities, their own wives and husbands and children, you want to make sure you're raising a child that's capable of those responsibilities. So you cannot be an enabler. You cannot be there. You have to scale back, let them make mistakes. That's the only way they can learn. And granted, if they don't make any mistakes and they do listen to you, you're blessed. Most times, 90% of the kids, they don't listen to their parents when they hit a certain age. But that's okay. You just scale back, be in the shadows, just watch them from a distance, make sure they're good. If they're about to crash and burn, catch them before they burn, and you just be a parent. I think that's what parents need to do. A lot of parents walk
I
away and
agree,
look at it
man.
where
I
it's not
agree.
their,
I
yeah,
agree
yeah,
a
a lot of them
thousand
walk
percent.
away. Like it's not their responsibility. Yeah, it's your responsibility. It is.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because that, like you said, they're going to continuously need the guidance. Like as they grow, as they get through different stages in life, they're going to still need you.
No, it's certain behaviors though as a parent that my kids already know zero tolerance.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Anything you do that's illegal that can possibly cost me my freedom, I don't F with. You can't be around me. They already know number one rule. If you decide to do anything illegal, anything you can cause you to get arrested or cost you your freedom. If you decide to murder someone, rob a bank, or anything of that nature where you know the consequences are severe, you can't be around me. I'm not enabling. I'm not protecting. I'm not sheltering. None of that. Because you were raised like that. See what I'm saying? You were raised like that. And if you want to engage in behavior of that nature, that means you pretty much told me all the lessons I taught you, you didn't really give a damn about. So at that point, I will fall all the way back and you wouldn't even hear from.
No, I agree. I agree with everything you said, man. It does, it goes a long way. And to all the parents out there that's listening, don't give up. Don't give up on your kid. I know it's difficult. I know it's hard. They go through these stages where it's like they don't want to hear nothing from you. They don't want to look at you. And it could be vice versa. You don't want to look at them. You don't want them to talk to you, but you just can't give up because these kids that we're raising now is our future, is literally the next president. That some of them is going to be the next senator, the next mayor, the next governor. Like we want to have them instilled with positivity, with love, with guidance, with care, so that way they can lead better in the future, right? So let's never give up. Let's stick together. Let's do what we can. Because I be calling Len too. Like I lead on Len a lot when it comes to like communicating and getting these things off my chest when it comes to my own kid and what I go through, So lean on your friends, lean on your fellow parents, that are going through the same thing. Communicate with them because you're not alone. You're not.
Yep. Yep. No, I agree with everything you just said. Lean on each other. It takes a village to raise children, you know. Don't
Yes.
ever stop talking to them. Even if you have a child that's hard-headed, that doesn't want to listen, you listen, pray on it, don't stop talking. And
Mm-hmm.
always remind them that you are there through the bad, through the ugly, through the worst, you're there for them. That's what you got to do. And
Yeah.
if your child's in a crisis, then you know what? Dig deep, pick them up, hold them, hug them, provide shelter, and let them reset and start again. That's your job as a parent.
And also on a side note, before we go, a part of and back of my mind too is I know that my son has to be with a woman in the future, right? Or a man, or whatever he wants to do, but he has to be in a relationship, right? So I want him to also have good values for when he's in a relationship and
Mhm.
if he's with another woman. Like I want that woman to be like, well, damn, you got a great son. That would be a great accomplishment for me. Like one of the great accomplishments for me too, is that other people see him as a great person, not just me.
And that's true too. But what? Listen, as crazy as it may sound, being a single parent with two children, right?
Mm.
I had baby step accomplishments is what I had set for myself. Because people always say how raising a child by yourself or raising children by yourself, especially, is hard. So I used to always say, okay, when they finish daycare, I said, oh, they finished daycare. When they went to elementary school, okay. When they passed through elementary school, I'm like, okay. When they went to middle school, I'm like, all right, all right. When they hit high school, I was like, you know what? Okay, you pretty much got the single parent thing down. And then when they got to high school, I always say, and this is crazy, but I always say, as long as my daughter does not get pregnant and my son does not get anyone pregnant, and as long as they graduate from high school, as crazy as it sounds, and they graduate from high school, I feel like I won. Because I used to always be afraid of being a single parent missing something. Like, you know how when you're a single parent, you may miss something, whether your child may be a little depressed or your child's going through something emotional, maybe the first love or the first heartbreak. And sometimes as single parents, we are busy just maintaining a roof over our head for our child. We miss little things. And that used to be one of my fears. One of my fears I used to have. And that's why I'm a big advocate of having conversations no matter what, it's missing something. Yeah. That was my fear. No, I don't fear that anymore because there are adults that have their voices, they can use their voices, but I just had that fear, girl.
And because you won now, because it didn't get
Yeah.
pregnant.
Yeah. But because I used to always say, like, am I gonna miss something? You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
know, I want you like you and for me, like I just always wanted the best for them. Like I could feel it. Like I always say, no, man, I want my kids to be great and to be the best, and no matter what they touch, give it 100%. Not even 100, give it 150%, give it 200%. I used to always say, just do your best, give it 100%, give it 200%. As long as they were thriving and busy and happy, I was happy. If it
Yeah.
makes sense, I was happy. And I always say, I never wanted to allow myself to get distracted where I missed something. Like I always refuse to allow myself to get distracted where I missed something that may be going on in their life. Yeah, that's my fear. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a very good one, not very good, but you know what I mean.
Oh, now listen. Now Sanaya's 17, she'll be 18 next year. In less than a year, she'll be 18. She'll
Mm-hmm.
be a young adult. Saquon is 21. He is an adult. So hey, do you, boo?
Exactly.
My job is, I would say, it's done, but hey, it's
Well, the hard part is done.
our part is done. This is a breeze now.
Yeah,
Shoot,
that's exactly the hard
our
part.
part's done. Our part's done. This is a breeze now.
Rick, because then at least before you were still sort of responsible. Now it's like you
Yeah, it was.
21, like nah, you responsible. Now as a law, now you responsible.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They know how I feel about that. Well, you're 21, do it, please. You didn't have to ask me for permission. You can do what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Exactly. Well, this was a great topic. Thank you for letting me get this off my chest because I was just
anytime.
mm-hmm. All right,
Absolutely,
Thomas.
anytime.
Huh?
Anytime. Listen, it was a great topic. It was great. I
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed it. And
Mm-hmm.
until next time.
Until next time.
Bye.
Don't forget to check out our other videos on our YouTube page and follow us on our social platforms. That's on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. We talk about a lot of stuff on there all the time. So we want to hear from our listeners. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys right here, same time, same place next week.